This is ABC Radio Brisbane with Rebecca Livingston.
11:15, and to some extent it feels like in Australia, hopefully, we will not be in the circumstances that other countries have found themselves in because of the measures we've put into place to respond to the coronavirus. But the pandemic continues to play out around the world in various ways. And the threat to life from COVID-19 isn't always the obvious one, like patients on respirators struggling to catch their breath. In Africa, which has so far largely escaped the high levels of infection seen in Western Europe, the pandemic is risking lives in other ways. The final tally of the pandemic could push the number of people facing hunger to almost double, to more than 250 million. There is a Brisbane woman with a connection to Africa who can shed some light on what's happening here. Her name is Donna Power. She runs the Project Kindy charity in Malawi in southeastern Africa. Donna, good morning.
Good morning, Rebecca. Thanks for having me.
Can you explain what you do and what your connection is to Malawi?
Sure. We fundraise for 11 kindergartens that are run and based in villages in rural areas in Malawi. So there's 847 children attending, and we provide them with daily lunch and education before school. So that means they benefit from what's known as school readiness. So they have those long-term impacts of being able to succeed at primary school, then secondary school, and become an active citizen.
How did that connection come about between you in Brisbane and Kindy children in Malawi?
I have a very good friend, a Catholic nun, Sister Melissa Dwyer. She's a Canossian daughter of charity, and she was there as a missionary. So she told me about the kindergarten having to close down because the families couldn't afford $4 a month to send their children there. They still can't afford that because the families are subsistence farming families.
Generally, what are you hearing about how Africa is faring in terms of COVID-19 infection?
Well, the numbers are around 44,000, which pales in comparison, as you said, to other continents like America and Europe, which are up around 1.5 million. However, the authorities are still worried because the rate of infection is increasing significantly each day in Africa. So African nations lack proper healthcare, testing capacity, and the population have comorbidities across all age groups, which is highly concerning. And the parallel humanitarian crisis, which will be enforced, or which will be imposed on people because of the responses to COVID-19, is also very worrying because people live hand to mouth, day to day. Any extra level of stress, like self-isolation, will push them into extreme hardship.
Yeah, and it comes back to, we talked about this a little while ago on the program, the idea that to be able to isolate is actually a privilege, to be able to have a city or a home that's safe and stable, an area where you can sort of extricate yourself from the public, that is not something that is an option for all people.
No, well, that's right. We have homes that have doors and windows and security. We have taps in at least 2 rooms. We have flushing toilets, showers. So comparing Australia's capacity to respond to COVID-19 with Malawi's capacity, it's like comparing a grand mansion to a fragile hut. So people in Malawi, they see those houses as not something that you live in during the day, but that's where you sleep at night. So they live outside. Also, they only 10% of them have access to local clean water in the rural areas of Malawi. So they have to walk up to 3 hours sometimes to obtain water and carry it back on their heads in a tub. So self-isolating means a very different game in countries like Malawi.
You're listening to Donna Power. I'm going to say you're a bit like the Madonna of Brisbane, if you like, because Malawi is the place that Madonna, as in the pop singer, has a real connection to. But Donna runs the Project Kindy charity in Malawi in southeastern Africa, supporting 11 Kindys, some 850 children in that 3 to 6 year old age range. So, yeah, if going into lockdown means that you can't get water, Donna, then are you actually more worried that people are going to suffer or die from those consequences than the virus itself?
Absolutely. We're really concerned. We're really concerned that on a number of fronts, that if you can't access water and if you can't access food, healthcare, if you already have comorbidities, we have 2-year-olds sometimes coming to our kindies. You know, children in Malawi suffer from lung disease, HIV, malaria, vitamin A and iron deficiencies and malnutrition generally. So they are at risk of this virus because, as we've seen in Western countries, people with comorbidities are more susceptible, but we normally associate that with the older age groups, but in Malawi it's every age group. So yes, helping them stay locally with fresh water is paramount. We're educating our kindergarten communities about hand washing currently. We've, through our partners on the ground, the Canossian Sisters, we've delivered large buckets with taps and bulk soap. So the children are learning about hand washing throughout their communities, not that they're attending kindergarten as such, because kindergartens and schools and universities have been shut down in Malawi since March 23. So that's 6 weeks that they haven't been receiving our lunches. Sorry, that was a lot of information.
It was a lot of information, but I wonder too, you know, you're thinking about these children, you know, and the care that you're providing from a very long way away. How are you coping with I guess having your hands tied behind your back in terms of helping these kids that you've devoted a lot of your life to?
Well, the power of the internet is a miracle. Seriously. I can talk to the sisters, our partners on the ground, through WhatsApp. I talk to them every day. And we also have developed a new partnership with an organisation on the ground over there called Baseflow. And they're supported by the Scottish government, actually. They're a Malawian company that delivers borehole drilling. They monitor and repair and make sure that the water is clean and effective for the communities. So I have a lot of hope because we communicate regularly and I have a lot of connection directly with our partners on the ground there. So I don't feel like my hands are tied behind my back because I've got a laptop and a phone. and we've got a lot of Brisbaneites and Aussies supporting us with our fundraising appeal for 6 wells. So we're trying to raise $60,000 to provide those wells in those 6 communities. So we have a lot of people who are giving us beautiful encouragement because it's touching their hearts too.
You are amazing, Donna.
Oh, stop it.
Good to talk to you this morning.
Yeah, we're glad that the ABC has highlighted the story of African nations, and because that's what the leaders are in Africa are saying at the moment. We need partnerships on the ground. We need media to tell the story. We need your help. So we're doing our little bit and you're doing yours, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, in highlighting the situation in Africa, I mean, the latest figures are just devastating. They're saying that the pandemic will likely kill 300,000 Africans and risks pushing 29 million people into extreme poverty. I mean,
it's unimaginable for us. We can't even, it's a different world, you know. So they need all hands on deck. They're calling out to the US and every partner nation, and we're only a very small community grassroots initiative. We'll help, and if everyone does their little bit, we'll heal the world.
Donna, if people want to find out more about what you're doing, how can they look you up?
Project Kindy, excuse me, projectkindy.com. We're also Project Kindy on Facebook and Instagram. We have an easy way to donate. You can donate through credit card or direct bank transfer. You you could run your own fundraiser and give us the money. We're running an online trivia and games night through our Facebook page, which will be super fun. So we'd love people to get involved, and even if you just advocate for us and share the story through social media or just in conversations, we'd really appreciate that.
Donna, good to talk this morning. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Rebecca.
Donna Power, who runs the Project Kindy charity in Malawi in southeastern Africa. If you want to find out more about the support that they are giving to those kindergarten-aged children, projectkindy.com. That's the website, projectkindy.com.